This is POA, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, you are watching Pulse of Africa POA. We bring you the latest updates from around the globe and our top stories. African ministers seek 10-year food security plan. Chinese foreign minister concludes Africa tour. Indonesia becomes latest BRICS member. Meteor rocks spotted in the skies over southern Ethiopia. Now the full stories. African agriculture ministers are convening a 3-day extraordinary summit in Uganda this week to address the continent's pressing food security challenges. The summit will culminate in the adoption of the Kampala Declaration and a landmark 10-year strategy and action plan to boost the implementation of the Malabo Declaration on accelerated agricultural growth and transformation for shared prosperity and improved livelihoods, adopted in 2014. The primary objective is to develop a 10-year action plan that reduces reliance on food imports, enhances climate resilience in farming practices, and embraces modern agricultural technologies. Ugandan Prime Minister Robina Nabbanja urged the ministers to prioritize policies that foster food self-reliance within Africa. She emphasized the need for an agriculture sector that can withstand climate change and adapt to technological advancements. The Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, CAD, Strategy and Action Plan, set to run from 2026 to 2035, aims to leverage resources for driving economic growth, enhancing food security, and improving livelihoods. Ethiopia's President Taye is also taking part in the African Union's Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, CAD, Special Summit in Uganda. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi concluded his tour of Africa in Nigeria, saying that Beijing would continue to offer support for the continent. Following visits to Namibia, the Republic of Congo and Chad, Wang held talks with Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Foreign Minister Yusuf Tuggar in Abuja. During his visit to Namibia, Wang emphasized China's unwavering support for African nations in their development efforts. He reaffirmed that China will firmly support Africans in addressing African issues in the African way. Côte d'Ivoire President Alassane Ouattara has suggested he is open to running for another term, though his party has not made a formal decision for the upcoming 2025 election. President Ouattara said, "I am in good health and eager to continue serving my country," during a speech to diplomats in Abidjan, marking his clearest indication yet of a potential bid. The 83-year-old leader, who secured a controversial third term in 2020, has previously expressed a desire to step down but hinted that his decision may depend on whether his longtime political rivals also retire from politics. In September, his party voiced support for another Ouattara candidacy, though an official announcement has not been made. Côte d'Ivoire's presidential election is scheduled for October. Indonesia has formally joined the BRICS group, a bloc of emerging economies. The Brazilian Foreign Ministry and the group's presiding country Brazil announced that like other members of the alliance, Indonesia is also committed to reforming global governance. Indonesia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that BRICS membership is a strategic step to improve the collaborations and cooperation with other developing nations, based on the principle of equality, mutual respect, and sustainable development. China, another founding member of the BRICS alliance, warmly welcomed Indonesia's membership. BRICS, of which Ethiopia is a member, was originally established by Brazil, Russia, India, and China, with South Africa joining later. Over 9,000 structures damaged or destroyed, with at least 10 fatalities reported in Los Angeles County fires. Officials said Thursday that more than 9,000 homes, businesses and other buildings appear to have been damaged or destroyed in the Palisades and Eaton fires. Around 5,300 of these structures were destroyed in the Palisades fire, while another 4,000 to 5,000 structures were estimated to be damaged or destroyed in the Eaton fire burning in the Altadena area. Officials made the estimate using aerial infrared technology and stressed that it was a preliminary number. If accurate, it would place the firestorm among the worst in Los Angeles history in terms of property damage. Finally, A bright red space debris, most probably meteor rocks, light up the skies over south and southwestern Ethiopia on Thursday night. The meteor rocks were confirmed by Ethiopian Space Science Society, where people caught the fireball with their cameras in south and southwestern Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Space Science Society mentioned that investigations are underway regarding objects speeding towards the southern region, suggesting they could be either space debris or meteor rocks. Social media users took to Facebook, X, former Twitter, and other platforms by the thousands to discuss the bright meteor and share striking images. The Ethiopian Space Science Society advised Ethiopians to patiently await the completion and disclosure of the investigation. Ethiopia is my blood. Your story and our identity. Ornamented by centuries of sacrifices. The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here. Only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa. The face of Ethiopia. The voice of Africa. Now on to business news. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed officially launched the Ethiopian Securities Exchange, the first stock exchange in one of Africa's rapidly developing nations. After ringing the bell to inaugurate Ethiopia's first stock exchange, the Prime Minister highlighted this as a historic milestone for the nation's economic and financial development. As the pioneer securities exchange, ESX aims to be a crucial player in the growth of the Ethiopian capital market by facilitating capital access and efficient allocation to bolster the country's economic development. South Sudan announced its plan to produce at least 90,000 barrels of crude oil per day as the country resumes normal production. This comes after oil supply to international markets were cut off last February because of the ongoing conflict in Sudan. 90% of South Sudan's gross domestic product, GDP, comes from its rich fossil reserves. In the last 11 months, the country was unable to sell its oil to international markets after Sudan evoked the force majeure clause, which protected it from liability following the outbreak of conflict in Khartoum in early 2023. The ban was lifted on January 4, allowing neighboring South Sudan to resume production. Kenya's port of Mombasa has recorded impressive growth in cargo handling for the year 2024, with 41.1 million tons of cargo passing through the country's main seaport. Kenya's Ports Authority said the growth marked a significant increase of 5.1 million tons, which is 14.1, compared to the 35.98 million tons handled in 2023. In 2024, Uganda was the primary transit destination from the port of Mombasa, with South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, and Tanzania following closely behind. Port of Mombasa as East Africa's leading trade gateway, attracting major shipping lines and enabling the port to serve as a critical transshipment hub for the region. European aerospace companies are bracing for very strong protectionism in the United States under the administration of President-elect Donald Trump. The head of plane maker Airbus, AIR.PA, opens new tab, said on Thursday. Speaking to reporters as head of France's GIFA's Aerospace Industry Association, Airbus CEO Guillaume Faury also said supply chains had yet to recover from the impact of the pandemic. Airbus is expected to announce later on Thursday that it made 766 deliveries in 2024, up 4% from the previous year, coupled with a slowdown in orders from record highs in 2023. The industry faces a cocktail of strong aerospace and defense demand, except in the European space sector, combined with supply chain difficulties, geopolitical tensions and growing competition from India and elsewhere, Faury said. Days ahead of Trump's inauguration, the European industry is preparing for a shift to protectionism that has yet to be defined but is likely to be pronounced, Faury said. Let's get you updated on the weather scene. That's all from us today. Don't forget to check our website for updates on these and other stories. We thank you for joining us.
This is POA, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.